This is Benjamin Linus. I'm one of the good guys. You're listening to The Lost Initiative, Sky One's official Lost podcast. Namaste.
Previously on Lost.
Were you ever gonna take us off this island?
No. I know who you are, boy. I know that everything you have, you took from me.
We have to go back!
You come here to kill me, Benjamin.
I'm here, Charles, to tell you that I'm going to kill your daughter.
This is the Lost Initiative from Sky One.
He changed the rules.
Hello and welcome back to the Lost Initiative, where your patience over the last 6 weeks has been rewarded by a siege at the barracks, the return of the black smoke monster, and our first showdown between Benjamin Linus and Charles Widmore. This is your expert guide to episode 9, The Shape of Things to Come, and my name's Iain Lee.
The Lost Initiative.
I'm joined as always by Paul Terry, the editor of the official Lost magazine.
Hello, sir.
Good to see you.
One of
High
those.
five. There we go. Well, we've got Geeky Tom, but he's on the phone. Where are you?
Alright, I'm in Sheffield.
Well, why?
Because I do have a life outside the Lost podcast.
We know that's not true, Tom, so please don't BS us, I think is the street parlance. Right, well, let's crack on. Oh yeah, let's start off with the action on the beach, where we've got the body of Dr. Ray washing up, Bernard and a lying Daniel showing off their Morse code skills, and there's a difference of opinion with the freighter regarding the state of health of the doctor.
What does that mean? The doctor is fine. I don't know. Why are you lying? Why did you say that the helicopters are coming back?
Jack!
Were you ever gonna take us off this island?
No.
Paul, I'll ask you first, what's happened to the doctor, and why do the freighter people think he's fine?
Very odd, and I really like him. I like the Doctor. I know he was a bit weird and a bit mean to the our castaways.
It's a shame to lose him so early on.
Yeah, and he had like a cheek wound. There was like stitches on his cheek, wasn't there? And his throat was slit. This is very odd. I mean, what do you? Is it like another code? You think, or
a code?
We know like the whole tell my sister I love her. Maybe is the code that's coming back from the freighter
A dead body?
No. The code that came across in the Morse code when they said the actual code, what it was, they got doctor's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a code. That's what I'm trying to say.
But
there you go.
Okay, so that could be it, that they're sending a code via the Morse code.
To Daniel, yeah.
Or it could be, here are some alternatives. Geeky Tom, tell me what you think of these.
Yeah.
There's another doctor, there's two of them, twins.
Oh, twinning, yeah.
To be honest.
Excuse me? Listen, you may be on the phone, young man, but it doesn't mean you can use indoor language, all right? Check yourself.
I'm sorry.
Or the doctor hasn't been killed on the boat yet.
Ooh.
No, I like that.
Because there's a time difference thing going on. We know that time travel is very important.
Actually, because he said when is a relative term, didn't he?
Yes,
Mr.
exactly.
Faraday. Yeah, good one.
Tom, why does Faraday lie about the response, do you think?
Well, I think he's a bit scared about the island guys. And he's just trying to keep everything calm, I think. I think the more he tells them about what's actually happening and the fact that there's a huge time difference going on, I think that'd just freak him out, wouldn't they?
I tell you what I noticed this week. That lady that landed on the island, whose name I don't remember.
Oh, Charlotte.
She hasn't been it much, has she, last few weeks? And done a lot at all.
No.
I think they're phasing her out.
Gonna get killed.
Hopefully. Well, not hopefully, no, but it's and also, the psychic fella hasn't done any psychic skills, has he?
No, he just looked terrified for the duration of the barrack attack. Poor
Jack
chap.
is having a little bit of tummy trouble, and he starts taking those pills. And I turned to you. I don't mean the squits. Well, maybe he has. I don't know. It's an island. It could happen.
He looked embarrassed. Yeah.
And I turned to you, Paul Terry, editor of the official Lost magazine, and I said, "Is this the start of his drug problem?" You looked a bit blank, and then you realised what I was talking about.
Yeah,
because in the future,
a bit sleepy.
He has a drug and booze issue, doesn't he?
He does. Well, he does indeed. Yeah.
So is this the start of that? If it is the start of it, it seems a little bit sudden, doesn't it? It hasn't been mentioned before on the island.
Well, he does seem ill. He looks very pale and very sort of oily, and he's limping a lot. So
oily. He's oily, isn't he?
That oily sheen that you get when people are really, really quite manky and ill. So
Tom is probably wearing right now, although we can't see it.
Yeah, whereas Tom's is more self-induced.
You'd be surprised with what I'm actually wearing right now.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Are you in the nuddy, Tom?
No.
Because we are. What's no? Is that pants and socks or what?
He's doing what we've all done, and after a drunken night, he's wearing his girlfriend's underwear. Now, let's talk about Lost, please.
Good lad.
Back to the barracks, where we discover it was the freighter people who killed Rousseau and Carl, and while using Alex as a hostage, they shock Ben by breaking one of the rules.
You have 10 seconds, Ben.
Okay, listen.
9.
She's not my daughter.
8.
I stole her as a baby from an insane woman. She's a pawn, nothing more. She means nothing to me. I'm not coming out of this house. So if you want to kill her, go ahead and do it.
How exciting was it, Tom, when Alex took a bullet to the head?
I was on the edge of my seat. It was incredible. I really didn't see that happening.
No.
It felt like they did, but they were changing the rules, weren't they, a bit, just for us viewers.
Well, what are the rules? Because he says to Ben when he meets Widmore later on, says you've changed the rules, and he says it there. They've changed the rules. What rules are they?
No family and friends. I don't know. I think it may be something to do with this constant thing that they keep on going on about.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I quite like that. Go on. Yeah.
Maybe you can't kill each other's constant. You start doing that, then because it's obviously they're both from the island, Widmore and Ben. After the end of the episode, which I'm sure we'll get to later.
No, I thought we wouldn't talk about the end of the episode this week. I thought we'd just we'll try something new
leave
here
it
at the
hanging.
Lost Initiative, and not because we're going to talk about the end of the episode, you muppet.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I'm happy we're not talking about it.
Oh, for God's sake! But Paul, I think that this fella's still boozed up on the line.
Yeah,
Paul,
yeah.
What the rules? What are the rules to the game? The constant thing's an interesting idea.
I like that from Tom, and I think it is. It seems to be like a family, close friends, loved ones thing, like almost like a series of untouchables. You can't kill them. But I'm more interested to
like when you're having a fight, you can't kick the other guy
like
in the
Fight
balls.
Club. Yeah, no shirts, no shoes, blah, blah, blah.
No face, no balls.
Yeah.
What has got into Sheffield is a bad influence on Tom.
When Tom's in Sheffield and when he's having a fight, these are a series of rules which must be adhered to. But I want to know. But what are the rules about? That's what I'm really interested in. Fine. Change the rules.
If there are
What
rules, if there are rules, that means it's a game. What's the game?
That's the bit
Hunt
that I'm
the
really.
Maybe it's not a game. Maybe it's just the rules of engagement.
War's a game. War's a game, Tom. It's a bloody game, but it's still a game. But they're playing. Is it Risk? They're playing, I guess, the Sawyer and Hurley. And Hurley says something very significant. Or he says, "I can't believe you've given up Australia." That's the whole. That's
key to the whole game.
Key to the whole game.
I think that's a nice nod.
But
to
later
something,
on,
surely.
you see that they have to give up Hurley as well. Actually, I saw a kind of parallel between that game and actually having to give up Hurley later on, as he's like the key to the game.
Do you think he's the key to the whole game?
Yeah.
He's as big as Australia, so it would possibly. Do we read anything to that? Is Australia the key to the whole game? It obviously has a significance in that's where the flag came from.
I don't think the actual country is, but I think the parallels in Hurley being the key to what's going on.
No,
maybe
I take it literally. I took it as a literal.
But there were a lot of key things that happened
endorsement.
in Australia, weren't there? There was the Rose with her. She visited the guy with the cancer-curing guy.
There was. We went to see the woman who had a terrible Australian accent.
There was Richard Malkin, the psychic dude, who spoke to Claire and also spoke to Echo.
Ben's dad died there.
Yeah.
Claire's from there.
It's all.
Is it Australia?
Well, also quite simply, it's where the plane left as well.
Well,
it left.
yes,
which I've forgotten that myself.
It's important. Now Ben, Ben is fantastic actually, and I would like him to adopt me. I don't know.
I think he's great too. Like this episode, that beginning bit, Jesus, he's like Jack Bauer. Where did he learn moves like that?
That was pretty good.
Oh, what, the bit where he gets the where he's out in the desert, of course.
Yeah. Crazy.
Very quick. We'll talk about the desert in a minute because I do want to talk about the bit I liked was when Alex gets shot in the head and crumples to a heap.
You did say that's fantastic.
I did say that was fantastic. It was very exciting. I didn't see it coming, but then he storms off, goes into his secret room, which is exciting, locks himself in.
Yeah.
Then goes through like a secret hieroglyphic covered wall, pushes it open,
rocky, muddy,
and then disappears and comes out all dirty. Where the hell has he gone?
No, I love what he says to Sawyer as he comes through the door. He just looks at him and goes, "James."
What has he done? He's obviously gone and summoned the black smoke monster, which he does know what it is. He's lied to Locke in the past and said he doesn't know what it is. He knows what it is. How has he summoned it? Where has he gone to do that? Is it? Have we had all the hatches? I mean, they've kind of ignored hatches.
No, I'm sure there's
I don't think it's a hatch. It looks temple-y. It looks like a temple, doesn't it? All the hieroglyphs and stuff.
Well, there is talk, of course, that the rest of his people are in the temple. Could they simply be down there? Because he's not gone for that long.
Oh, maybe it's an underground temple. Yeah.
Well,
weird.
Weird. But nothing to talk about that. Okay, we'll move on then.
But the monster was massive. It was the biggest we've ever seen it. It was like a freight train, wasn't it? Freighter train. It was just huge.
Well, on the map, isn't it? It is the defence system of the island, the Cerberus system, isn't it?
Well, it's what they call it on the map, isn't it?
Yeah.
They did refer to it as Cerberus. Yeah.
So a system would need some kind of controls to it.
But it seemed to direct it towards
Yeah.
Keamy and
Which
his
means
gang.
when you look back at all the other episodes, all the people that have been killed by the smoke monster, it must be Ben in charge of it.
Oh, that's a bit of a stretch, but I quite like the stretch.
I don't think he is in charge.
No,
I think
so.
it's like Ben doing a wolf whistle and calling over some savage dogs. You know, some
Or
guard
like-
dogs.
Do you reckon he prayed to like the temple of the black smoke or something, and
Shut
it came
up.
in?
Shut up, you're an idiot. It is like he's climbed over a fence and set off the guard dogs, but he's managed by staying inside until the guard dogs had attacked the other people.
Yeah.
While they're attacking those people, they can sneak off around the back and not
it
get
was
spotted.
it was
Yeah, but
pretty
your guard dog
blooming
won't
angry, wasn't
attack
it?
its master though, will it?
But the guard dog, the smoke, just in case people forget the metaphor we're using here, Ben isn't his master.
No, I don't think so.
Ben is
No.
scared of the smoke monster. Did you not see that?
He said, "Don't leave the house until I say to go."
he is terrified of it.
Yeah.
All right, fair play.
Yeah, fair play. Ben's next priority is to find Jacob, and he needs Hurley for this. I'm confused slightly as to why only Hurley can find the cabin, because he stumbled across it by accident and doesn't
Maybe
know what
there's
it
some
is.
food inside it. That was a joke.
I know, I'm laughing.
All right, good. I can't tell
Very
anymore.
naughty joke. Paul.
It was.
Well, I'm confused because I thought that Ben led Locke there originally. So why does he now think that he needs Hurley to find it? I'm very confused.
Is Jacob's cabin? It's jumping around, isn't it? Now it was permanently fixed, I think, but it seems to be jumping about.
We talked about that the other week, didn't we?
Yeah.
It does seem to be moving.
The other month.
The other month.
So it seems to be moving. So, but I'm confused as to why Hurley. Is it to do with the numbers? Because Hurley has that close association with the numbers.
That's good.
The numbers haven't mentioned in this series, and didn't the producers promise they would be?
I think
Well,
they did.
it's not finished yet, is it? There's still some more episodes
We
to go.
got about another
He's
5, 6 to go.
And why does Ben say that the freighter people won't risk hurting him? They need him alive, don't they?
Well, that's what Charles Whitmore's. The whole operation seems to be to get Ben Linus. So
That's the rules, though, isn't it? Because when Ben skipped to the end, right at the end of the episode, Whitmore's like, well, Ben's like, I can't kill you. I'm not allowed to kill you, type thing.
Yes.
So that's why they need him
But
alive.
then who's making those rules up? If it's
Well, I
not,
think-
if Charles and Ben aren't the head of the whole thing, what's going on then?
Well,
What's
maybe Ben and Charles are each other's constants.
Well,
So if they
listen-
kill each other, they'll die.
That's interesting.
Ooh, that's nice.
Listen,
Yeah.
we will get to the end when we get to the end.
He keeps jumping.
Well, I'm running out of credit, you see, so we're going to have to...
The truth is, we haven't phoned Tom. He has phoned us. That's how desperate he is to appear with us.
It's a good episode, guys. It says, I'm willing to spend a bit of money to phone in and have a chat.
How did Ben get to the Sahara? Because that was brilliant.
Oh, come on.
Well,
he
if I just like to remind you, what I've been saying for ages is
Go
that
on,
there is...
before your credit runs out, quick.
There is an actual time machine that you can send yourself through.
Okay,
And that's
but
what he did.
Okay, I'm beginning to believe it now because he lands in the desert wearing cold clothes.
Yeah.
There's like a trail of smoke around him.
There's a bit
isn't
of
there?
steam,
There's a little
yeah.
bit of steam coming off him, and he's there. So you think it's a time machine because he does say when he goes to the hotel, "Have you been to Tunisia before?" Not for a long time.
He checks the date.
Tunisia is where the polar bears were found, wasn't it? By Charlotte.
Correct.
Thank you. So, are we to assume that he went back in time like a million years and put the polar bears there?
No, I see.
What do you mean, no?
They
It's
were
a good
cut
thing.
on the arm as well. I'm thinking there's some kind of cataclysmic fight, and he sends himself through the portal at the end when he knows he's not going to win it.
But is it? If,
To tweak some time a bit, do a bit of time tweaking.
But those fans who were phoning up and talking about dimensions and portals and things like that. Is it random then? Is it utterly random?
No, I think it always gets sent to that single place in the world, that Sahara place.
But he was checking what date it was and stuff like that, so he didn't seem to know.
Maybe
it's not an exact science,
Well, I don't think.
That's what I'm saying. So therefore, it's
I don't
not
think
an
he'd
exact
always
science.
get sent to the Sahara place. You're saying that's the
Yeah, I am. I'm saying that is where the other end of the time portal is.
He seemed surprised. He seemed a bit disorientated.
Yeah, that's
He
a
just
nonsense.
travel through time. Of course, he's going to be disorientated.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Both of you just did miss a very important point I made when he gets to Tunisia, and she says, "And please do focus on this, gentleman. Have you been to Tunisia before? Not for a long time. Has he been there millions of years ago and dropped the polar bears off?
Millions of years.
Why
maybe.
are you laughing at the concept of him travelling millions of years?
I'm not. I just haven't thought of it. And
Well,
it's
think
just-
of it.
I'm thinking about it now, and it's all right, Lee. That's great.
Well, what do you
done.
think? What do you think the significance is then when she says, "Have you been to Tunisia before?" Not for a long time. What do you think that means? What,
I didn't
I've
think
been
it'd be
there
a
for 5
million.
years.
Yeah, I thought 20 years ago.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Last week.
I like the thing when she said he says what's this is when he checks into the hotel, of course, in Tunisia. What's the date? It's 22nd of October. 2005, is it? I'm going to start doing that because people always look at you suspiciously.
Yeah,
like,
good one. Yeah.
So you just travelled through time. That's good. I'm going to start making that a little affectation for me. The receptionist looks shocked when he uses the name Dean Moriarty. Is that because it's a little bit carry-on and a little bit ham-fisted, or because... What do you think, Tom?
I think he goes to that special hotel. I think it's one of his special Dharma hotels or something, or the Ben Linus Hotel. And she realises it's actually Ben Linus, you know, super guy. Super time traveller, you know, Jack Bauer, a.k.a., you know...
Shut up. I don't think she knows... And you shut up too. I don't think she knows who he is. I don't think she knows he's Ben Linus, but obviously the name Moriarty has some special significance.
Yeah, maybe. Actually, no, you're right. You are right. I think she does definitely... Maybe not... She doesn't know who Ben Linus is, but she knows that whoever that Moriarty guy is an important guy, you know.
Oh, very quickly, one thing I forgot. When he's... sorry, going back to the Desert Society, he's wearing the Parker jacket, and it's got the name Halliwax on it, which is... Isn't that a name Marvin Candle uses at some point in one of his orientation films?
Oh, isn't that the bunny one? The one with the teleporting bunnies?
Is it the bunny one? Yes, I think it
could be. Yes, it might be. I think you might be right there. Check it.
So, yeah,
now.
that's a big clue to that. Maybe that station is the time travel station where they were doing all that stuff to those bunnies.
Do you think... I need an definitive answer to this question. That Ben is the person who took the polar bears to Tunisia that Charlotte finds?
No.
Thank you. We've got an email. It's from Jonathan. In the last Lost Initiative... Oh, you discussed... Well done, people, for picking up on this at last. You discussed Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse 5. Now, I've reread this recently. It's like reading an episode of a Desmond episode. It's fantastic. I watched the film. The film's better than I remembered. And it is like watching a Desmond episode of Lost. I haven't read the book. But I know that... Oh dear.
It's getting exciting.
But I know that it deals with the concept of time travel. While rewatching Meet Kevin Johnson, I noticed something. In Michael's flashback, just before he leaves his apartment to commit suicide, he is watching TV. Oh, this is good. The programme he is watching is a game show, and in the brief clip that we see the name Kurt Vonnegut is given as answer to one of the questions.
Well done, sir.
A clue from the writers. Iain, run with it. That is the writers. If that's the case, and I will have to go back and watch that, that is the writers telling you the answer.
Or they're listening to this show.
Or they're listening to this
show. And they're taking little soupçons.
They're just basing Lost on this show. Yeah, nice one, guys.
Very cynical on us.
But that is honestly, Paul Terry. I'm gonna buy you a copy of the book this week.
Do you know what, I've just remembered this exact point.
Why does he get one?
Well, no, we were supposed to read it for homework, weren't we?
You won't read it, Tom. You're illiterate, for goodness sake. You need pictures. You can have the film then. I will bring you a copy of the book in. It is
fantastic.
It is a Desmond episode. It's incredible, the similarities. And if you're listening to this, it's a fantastic book as well. Why not go and read it? Anyway, if you want to... I'm giving book recommendations here. If you want to email us...
Judy all over again.
If you want to email us with your theories, then please do. Send us an email to lost@sky1.co.uk.
The Lost Initiative.
Back to the episode, and we see Ben in Iraq. How's your credit doing, Tom?
Got about 2 seconds left, mate. My mate's just come up with a bacon sarnie as well, so...
Well, just stick around, please. We see Ben at Iraq at Nadia's funeral. Ben tells Saeed that Charles Widmore's people killed her, and we learn how Saeed ended up working for Ben as a hitman. Ben has obviously done one of his clever little psycho manipulations on Saeed to get exactly what he wants, isn't it?
It's that awful bit when he walks away from the scene and he grins and you think, oh, come on. Because I thought he was actually wanting to help Saeed and, getting an ally for this big revenge act against Widmore. And
is it possible that Ben had Nadia killed?
Oh, yeah.
The long con all over again, so that he could get side on side.
Yeah, but, evil.
Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, about 5 out of 10. Not great.
Well, what do you think, how do you think this connection works then between Saeed and Ben?
I think that Saeed just really, when he finds out that his wife's dead, I think he knows that the only person that could possibly kind of have done this would be Widmore. So... Look, I'm not right. I'm not having this. Remember, I now have control over how long I appear in this podcast, and all I have to do is press a button just to go.
Don't you dare hang up on me, Tom.
I'll do it.
Don't you dare hang up on me, Geeky Tom.
It's right.
Don't you dare. You cheeky. Right, cut that line off. Right, next time he's in, dead arms. Did he just hang up on us?
He had a bit of a strop. There's a minor strop. Tom, if you're listening now about, a few days later on playback, that was a strop. Naughty. What was he even dissing?
I don't know.
Nadia, Nadia and all that stuff.
Okay, well, listen, let's move on. I fear that this episode of the Lost Initiative is staggering to a halt. But we have got the last part of Ben's flash forward. Oh, this was exciting. The meeting between him and Charles Widmore.
That island's mine, Benjamin. It always was. It will be again.
But you'll never find it.
Then I suppose the hunt is on for both of us.
I suppose it is. Sleep tight, Charles.
I love it when Widmore says, "I know who you are, boy. What you are."
Yeah, he calls him boy.
He calls him
Come
boy.
on.
That was fantastic. Again,
Yeah.
there's a weird sort of power struggle going on between those two. They're both trying to assert themselves as the alpha male.
Yeah.
And Widmore, I think, is on the back foot. I know what you are, boy.
He's much more relaxed though. He seems, he sits up in bed.
Well, they're
he's
both
got
very relaxed.
But from that scene, I don't know whether I've changed my mind now, but I now think I want to be on the Widmore team, on the Charles Widmore team now. I think that I was with Ben in this episode all the way through thinking, oh, actually, I feel sorry for Ben. Go to see Charles. And then it all turned around. I thought, actually, Charles is the more of the good guy than Ben.
Well, this has been the argument. I think
Yeah.
Tom and I have been settling on the side that Charles Widmore is perhaps the good guy in this.
I think I'm going towards your...
I'm going
you flip
I'm going
you're flipping
the other way.
Right.
I'm going the other way because the whole killing of Alex and the bringing of the daughters into it was Widmore's doing, and he's kind of saying, well, I didn't kill her, you killed her, Ben. Well, no, you killed her, Charles. Really?
I don't know whether that sort of implies that Keamy did that off his own back. He decided at that point in his kind of mercenary way, I'm done with this, I'm going to kill her and we'll move the situation forward. I don't know whether he got confirmation from Widmore to do that or...
I know what you are, I know who you are, I know what you are.
Yeah, what is that
What
about?
are you? What is he?
Yeah.
I'm beginning to think as well that Widmore, who says the island's always been mine, does that mean... I always forget his name, the fellow with the dark eyes who doesn't age.
Richard Alpert.
Who's not been in this series very much, because I think he's doing another television series. Is he immortal? I don't know, but he certainly seems to live for a very, very long time. I think Widmore could be one of those dudes.
Oh, good one.
That doesn't age. That his life is extended by, I don't know, several hundred years, let's say, because of some connection with the Freaky Island.
Okay, well, like a Black Rock connection or something. Oh, because he was at the auction for the Black Rock log, wasn't he?
I wouldn't be surprised if he was on the Black Rock, or if he was the original owner of the Black Rock that sent it out on its mission.
If he was part of the team who were there in the first place, that would completely make sense as to why he's accusing Ben of
stealing
taking
it
his
from
own.
him.
Because he came with
He was on the
Dharma.
boat.
He came with Dharma.
He was on the boat. Widmore was on the boat. Widmore wrote the log that he's bought back for $250,000, whatever it was. This is a good one.
This is good.
And for some reason was booted off of the island, left the island of his own choice, left the island in the hands of Ben and said, could you look after my island? I'll be back in a bit. I'll just sort of go off and do spam a lot. Whatever, I don't know, whatever the reason may
he had
be.
his little beard, didn't he, from him playing spam.
He did have a little beard.
But it's good because he looked rough, like he was, having a drink problem.
So
Yeah,
I'm convinced now that he was on the Black Rock.
something else with that though. If that's true, that means Penny, Bloodline. She's much more significant to the whole show mythology than we thought.
She is, because she said in the past, I know about the island, I've done some research.
Yeah.
So she knows more about the island and she's more connected with it. And the fact that Ben is now off to kill her, and Widmore says, well, you'll never find her. Seems odd, because surely she lives just around the corner.
Isn't she in South Kent?
Yeah. So, I could probably find it for you, Ben, if you need to know it. I would recognise the street. But so where is she gone? It makes me think maybe she's hidden somewhere.
We can't sort of place...
time.
Yeah, it's the flash forward. We can't quite place where in time, how far that is forward. We know it's before when Saeed hooked up with Ben, but the amount of time after they left the island, we don't know yet. So that's the mystery.
Something we mentioned briefly, and Tom had actually a very good theory about it. Widmore says, have you come to kill me? And Ben says, we both know I can't do that.
Yeah.
I like Tom's idea of them being each other's constants.
That's really good, actually. Yeah, I tip my hat to him for that.
I can't quite get my head around how that works and where they've jumped from. I guess maybe they've jumped from the island. I don't know.
Because I thought you had to choose your constant as well. I thought, when Minkowski was talking about that.
Well, surely you
can choose it, it's because Desmond chose that Penny would be his, and
but only because Penny was actually a constant. She was there in the past and she's there in the present.
Oh yeah,
so it
true.
has to be someone who's in the past and in the present.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that Widmore and Ben are like sort of super enemies.
Yeah.
And they're literally a constant in each other's life. So they become this metaphorical constant. I'm confusing myself here. Anyway, any other ideas, very briefly, between what's going on between Ben and Widmore? I've dismissed the theory that they're brothers.
Yeah.
Because the fact that he calls him boy.
Dad, maybe? No, it's not old enough to be his dad, is it? No.
It could be. We've seen his dad, but it could be. I don't think it quite is. But calling him boy would imply some sort of subservience on Ben's part.
Definitely, yeah.
Maybe like. I don't know. It's confusing. Let's move on. Got an email from George. It's a theory about Libby. Libby is the only major character so far whose surname we haven't been told yet, which makes me think her surname is a massive key to the backstory of the island. I think that Libby's surname is, wait for it, Widmore.
Yeah,
I guess that either Libby is Penny's sister, or she married into the Widmore family through her ex-husband David. This also fits in with some other theories that Libby was Widmore's spy on the island. Anyway, that's my theory. I'm sticking to it. Let me know what you think. Because
it's not bad.
Libby gives Desmond the boat. She's in the mental home with Hurley. She pops up.
And also, if that's completely true, then it would explain in part why there was almost like a revenge attack against Libby dying if he found out that Libby was killed. I know Ben didn't do it. Ben was there and he was let go after Michael accidentally killed her. But
Ben did kill her.
Eye for an eye.
Ben did kill her. If you assume that Widmore killed Alex, in that he got someone to do it, then Ben killed Libby. We've got another email. This is from Kevin. It says, this is the long one, so sit back, kick off your shoes and have a cup of tea. Imagine that plane at the bottom of the ocean floor is in fact Flight 815. However, it is the what was supposed to be Flight 815. That flight would not have had Jack, Kate, Hurley, Syed and Son on it, as all of them nearly missed the plane. Jack almost missed the plane because of the troubles of getting his dad's coffin on. Kate, because she almost outran the marshal. She made a decision to save the farmer. Hurley was running late. Syed held by airport security. And Son almost ran from gin. Now, these people accounts for 5 of the Oceanic 6, with Aaron being the 6th. And we know Aaron is the 6th because ABC
confirmed.
Television gave that away, didn't they?
Yeah.
Aaron is a sort of paradox, one that I haven't figured out yet. Once these 6 get off the island, they somehow start to realise that the world isn't right. I'm not sure why yet, but the 6 want or need to go back to the island to stop the crash of 815 in the first place, so that it lands in LAX like it should have. And that's how I think the show will end, with Desmond pushing the button and the flight landing at LAX with none of the losties knowing each other. That is, I'm going to say, is the biggest load of cack I have ever heard in my life. It doesn't make any sense at all.
No, dimensional things, that's fine. You're going to start talking about dimensions, but he's talking about people being out of place in their wrong dimension.
Yes, so there's an alternative 815 that should have didn't have them on, but it should have landed, and so they have to go back in time and make Desmond push the button, and it all.
But I thought
balls. It's balls, Kevin.
But I thought about Lapidus. Frank Lapidus. I thought he.
Sorry?
Lapidus.
Oh, okay.
I thought he.
It's a good name for a band, isn't it? Lapidus. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are Lapidus. I hope you like to rock.
I thought he explained the whole stage thing by the camera zooming in on the pilot and basically saying to us, "That's not the pilot. I know him. I know Seth. I know him. That's not him. Therefore, it's complete fabrication."
That plane, we know, has been put there, planted there by Widmore. We know that's the case, don't we? As a fact.
Well, I don't know whether we know it's a fact that Widmore did it because
it could be,
because what's his face? The captain's blaming Ben for doing it. Yeah, it's tit for tat. Yeah.
But basically, this theory is guff.
I don't like that at all.
Well, we have a caller on the lost line. It's Kevin, but it's not the same Kevin. Get this, it's a different Kevin. Hello, Kevin.
Whoa.
Hello.
What have you got for us, sir?
Basically, my theory centres around Ben and switching the pilot.
Yep, go on.
So my theory is that Ben switched the pilot to ensure that the plane came to the island by giving the coordinates and everything.
So you're saying that the pilot on the plane, the proper Flight 815, was a plant put there by Ben, like he's planted people around the world?
Yes.
What?
It's quite good.
There is something in that, because Ben, as we know, manages to reach far and wide, and as he said in tonight's episode, his people will sacrifice their lives to protect the island. But he seems really surprised, though, doesn't he, when the plane does crash? And the plane only crashes because of Desmond not pushing the button. Are you saying that he knew that was going to happen?
My theory is that Ben is aware of how everything is going to play out. So, for example, I think it was Juliet who mentioned that Ben is always where he wants to be.
Yes.
So even when he's tied up by lock, and
he's always in control of the situation.
To switch or teleport to wherever he wants to be.
Kevin, have you got anything else for us?
I also have a theory that maybe Jack was planted onto the plane also.
Oh yes.
By Ben, when he realised that he needed a spinal surgeon for his tumour.
Well, there is talk of this box, isn't there? The metaphorical box where you wish for something and it happens. And we don't know yet whether it is a sort of metaphorical, esoteric concept, or if it's an actual literal box where you do just go and say, right, I want that magical spine surgeon, I want this plane to crash and all of that. We don't quite know what that is. Paul, what do you think about that? That he planted Jack on the plane?
I don't think he knew about his tumour until later on, surely, until in the timeline of what happened. Wasn't he perfectly fine in the other flashbacks when he was making Juliet dinner? And then
he knew.
On.
He knew that he had his spine was knacked.
Really?
Yeah, he did when that plane crashed. Oh, yes, he totally did.
Oh, okay.
Because he says,
Oh, sorry, I mean before that.
Oh, so, before that.
As in, like, did he know about the tumour before the plane even took off? Because that's what Kevin's suggesting, that he planted Jack on so he could get the surgeon. I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch.
Kevin, you'll be disappointed to hear that Geeky Tom isn't here, but if he were, he'd probably say something like... It's all right.
It's all right.
Kevin, thank you for calling. Take care.
Thank you, no problem.
Good lad,
Bye.
there we go. Right, if you want to come on the Lost line or send us an email with your theory, then please get in touch with us. lost@sky1.co.uk. lost@sky1.co.uk. Paul Terry, thank you for bothering to turn up today.
Thank you very much. Pleasure as always.
Geeky Tom, up yours. We'll be back right after episode 10, Something Nice Back Home, Sky 1, Sunday, May the 11th, 9pm. I'm Iain Lee. That was The Lost Initiative. All together now. Namaste.
The Lost Initiative is a co-ink production for Sky One.
Don't you dare hang up on me, Tom.
I'll do it.
Don't you dare hang up on me, Geeky Tom.
It's right.
Don't you dare. You cheeky... Right, cut that line off.